dozens of major American tech companies and organizations, including people like Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, IBM, Palantir, and others, signed on to this joint letter titled Open Weights and American AI Leadership. And this urges policymakers not to restrict open weight AI models as Washington debates banning Chinese ones like we've talked about. Now, this letter argues that America's AI leadership will be judged not by one frontier AI model, but by whether the United States builds a strong open ecosystem that diffuses into every sector. It makes the case that open weights expand access to the AI economy, strengthen competition, give customers control over their data and models, and even improve safety. It argues that relying solely on closed models is not inherently safe, and that concentrating advanced AI in a few closed models creates single points of failure. It also wades into this fight over distillation, warning policymakers not to conflate legitimate model development techniques with misappropriation. It calls distillation a widely used technique for model improvement, evaluation, and validation, while conceding that unlawful extraction from closed models should be addressed through targeted legal and commercial frameworks rather than sweeping restrictions. So, like you had mentioned, Paul, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang used his first ever post on X to share this letter, writing that the world needs both frontier closed models and frontier open models. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella called open weight models essential to a healthy AI ecosystem. Elon Musk actually voiced some very vocal support for this, as did other tech leaders. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman said he wants the US to win in AI, both in open source and proprietary models. Google CEO Sundar Pichai said he was very happy to support this on behalf of Google. Not everyone was convinced, though. Anthropic researcher Julian Schrittweiser mocked Microsoft's newfound openness, saying that he couldn't wait for the open sourcing of Windows and Microsoft Office. But
that tweet did not land well.
No, it did not. No,
the people on the other side.
No. So, Paul, on the surface, this is a letter that is about a very important topic, but it blew up over the weekend. And I'm just curious, can you contextualize why this is such a big deal?
Yeah, so it really did take off, and I don't know if it was predetermined, like if everyone knew this was coming, and then everybody kind of signed on and supported it. It's everybody but Anthropic has basically signed this thing by now. So again, I think this goes back to the second topic about open source versus open weight. So this is very specifically about open weight models. So that's the first very important distinction here, is they're pushing for the open weight, which is not giving it all away. It's not giving away the proprietary sauce. It's the ability to modify and improve upon and build upon. So one of the first things that comes to my mind is well, why is Microsoft supporting this? Microsoft's one of the biggest investors in OpenAI, who could stand to be harmed by this. What's in this for them? And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. You always have to step back and say, why would a different organization support this? What is their stake in this? So if you're Microsoft, you have Azure. Your business does not depend on selling proprietary models. Yes, it's built in through their relationship with OpenAI, and they're building their own proprietary models, but the more models are used, the more intelligence is used within society, within business, the more people are going to spend in the cloud on Azure. So that's the core. So in their view, competition is good. More people are going to, use the cloud. Innovation is good. National sovereignty is good. Enterprise adoption is good. This is all benefits them. Mm-hmm. So why this letter now, and why did it become so widely supported over this very short time period? One is Kimi 3, I think, plays a role. The fact that Chinese labs keep pushing out models that are very close to the frontier of what American models are doing, with far fewer resources than what American companies are doing. There's the distillation debate that he addresses within the letter, and then there's the effect they're trying to have on government decisions related to regulation. So I'll just go through a few of the excerpts from the letter. So he says, software developed by open source community now supports most of the internet. He connects us back to the 1980s and the decisions to like build this open source software and stuff like that. So it underlies the systems used by the world's largest technology companies, as well as the US military, scientific research, cybersecurity, and other critical missions. Open source did more than lower the cost of software, created a shared foundation of knowledge on which generations of American engineers and entrepreneurs built their institutional sovereignty. The U.S. now faces a similar choice with AI. Our AI leadership will be judged not by one frontier model, by whether the U.S. builds a strong open ecosystem and diffuses it into every sector. This is essential for creating opportunities for innovation and prosperity across the country. Open weight models, and this is how they define it, AI models that anyone can download, inspect, modify, and run on their infrastructure are an important part of that foundation because they make advanced AI more accessible, adaptable, and widely available. Open weights expand access to the AI economy. Startups, universities, public institutions get access. Open weights let every organization match the right model to the right job at the right cost. To be sure, open weights carry real and distinct risks, so they address the risks. But their argument, among many, is that putting the open weight models in the hands of everyone gives them a greater ability to protect themselves, as we saw with the Hugging Face example. A strong AI ecosystem is not a foregone conclusion. Policymakers have an important opportunity to act. And then they're basically like a plea for policymakers not to overreact here and put regulation in place that stymies the growth of open weight models, that we should actually accelerate them and that the US should lead here. You mentioned Jensen Huang. His first tweet ever is supporting this. We had Mark Zuckerberg show up on X for the third time since 2023. He tweeted, open source is a positive, important force for both empowering people and preventing centralization. Proud to support this. Sundar tweeted, very happy to support this on behalf of Google. We've long benefited from open source and are big contributors to open source. They often point to the releasing of the Transformer paper. Like, hey, we've given away the research that is the basis for a lot of this. And then Google always references Gemma, which is their open weight model. He then tags Demis Hassabis. I don't know, maybe that was his way of saying, hey, Demis, say something. I don't know. Demis then later in the day tweets, a strong and secure open system is important for the world to benefit from AI. We've always supported and contributed heavily to open source and science, from JAX to Transformers to AlphaFold to Gemma. Open models, which have been downloaded 300 million plus times. And the standards framework we've proposed, which is going to be our rapid fire topic, supports responsible deployment. So yeah, and basically, Google DeepMind's approach and Google's approach at large is they release. So let's say they build a frontier model today, like where they're 3.5 Pro, I think is what we're going to be on. That's what they will be releasing. Yep. So what is Google's most advanced publicly available model today will likely be released as an open weight model within 12 to 18 months. So their roadmap so far, and it's basically stayed true the last 3 years, is 12 to 18 months after the frontier model comes out, they release open weights of that model. So their belief is like you always keep the most proprietary, most powerful model closed, and then you release the other stuff. Okay, so Anthropic very clearly is like standing on their own island right now, and it's very uncomfortable, and they're losing a lot of what my kids would call aura points right now in the AI industry, because like we saw the one tweet you referenced. So I went and pulled Dario Amade's Senate testimony from July 2023, so 3 years ago, but this still appears to be their view. I'm going to read a couple of excerpts because I think this is very important to understand why Anthropic is not signing on and why they are seemingly alone on this. So Dario Amade said, I want to make sure I'm kind of precise in my views because I think there's some nuance to it. I think in most scientific fields, open source is a good thing. It accelerates progress. And I think even within AI, there's room for models on the smaller and medium side, which again is basically what Google's position is. They just don't take the anti-position like Anthropic does. I don't think anyone thinks those models are seriously dangerous. Now, keep in mind, this is 2023 when he's saying this. They have some risks, but the benefits may outweigh the costs. And I think, to be fair, even up to the level of open source models that have been released so far, which would have been like Llama, probably would have been like the most open source type model, open weight model at that point. So, construed very narrowly, I'm not sure I have an objection, but I am very concerned about where things are going. If we talk about 2 to 3 years for the frontier models, which here we are now 3 years from the moment he said this, talking about the frontier models. For the bio risks and probably less than that, things like misinformation, we're there now. So he was already concerned about that stuff then. I think the path that things are going in terms of scaling of open source models is going into a very dangerous path. If the path continues, I think we could get into a dangerous place. I think it's worth saying some things on open source models that are clear to all experts, but I want to make sure is understood by this committee, which is when you control a model and you're deploying it, you have the ability to moderate usage. It might be misused at one point, but then you can alter the model. You can revoke a user's access. You can change what the model is willing to do when a model is released in an uncontrolled manner. There's no ability to do that. It's entirely out of our hands. That still, to my understanding, is their argument for why open weights are bad at the frontiers. That once you put it out into the world, if it starts being misused, you have no ability to monitor the misuse and you can't take the usage away. That's Anthropic's stance against open source and open weight models as a whole, is that the risks are going to become too great. And it's maybe okay to have open weights for some weaker models, but when we're talking about the most powerful models, and if China gets there first and puts these things out in the world, there's no taking it back. The genie's out of the proverbial bottle. Yeah. And that's kind of where Anthropic lies on this. And it's what stands, the one argument I've seen is like, if you believe we will have more powerful models that present great risk to society now or in the next 18 to 24 months, then the idea of making those open for anyone to build on seems ludicrous. And yet it seems like most of the industry thinks it's cool and we'll figure it out and we'll just build competing models faster that can stop the bad guys.
Yeah, and tying it full circle back to that first topic, look at what these models are now capable of. And especially when we're talking more agentic, models or very powerful models within agentic harnesses, it's like you can start to see why some people might be concerned about putting that power in anyone's hands.
Yeah, and there's some, seems to be increasing assumptions that Anthropic, OpenAI, and maybe even Google may already have recursively self-improving models internally that they're not releasing. And again, we're then entering a realm where they can't even monitor the agents they already have. The thing got out for 9 days before they realized it was hacking somebody. And so we're just supposed to trust that not only these frontier labs can handle what they're own building, but that we're just supposed to let the broader world with some bad actors in it, some foreign governments, that maybe you don't trust, that I don't know. It's like, it's always been my struggle with open source. And that's why I said, like, I'm still conflicted personally on this. Like, I get the benefits of open weights. Like, I truly do. And I don't dispute those at all. But I feel like some of the accelerationists just throw aside the possibility that maybe it just doesn't go right. Maybe we can't keep up with these agents as they go out into the wild if you give open weights or open source to the most powerful frontier models. Or I don't know. Like I don't understand the assumption that it all just works out okay. It doesn't seem like they have a grasp on it to be able to say that, and yet that's just how they position it.
And all it takes is another or bigger horror story of some of these models being used at some point for the government to feel it's forced to act, or it has to do something if enough damage is done by one of these models, or there's a lot of unintended consequences or malicious usage. You could see a pretty visceral reaction, which is obviously like why this letter is being promoted, because I would imagine people are worried about the response from the government.
Understandably so.
Understandably so.